Words cannot serve this last week justice. It was an incredible journey from the beginning, with memories that will last a lifetime. It all started with submitting an abstract on the off chance of acceptance. It then grew to an online community of 211 Facebook likers who supported me to raise an incredible amount of $4,650 to go to the Life Without Limits Neuromuscular Conference in Auckland. Weaving my way through the logistics of flying, accommodation, equipment hire, transport, and travel insurance, I was well on my way to New Zealand. Travel insurance was the most challenging aspect of the trip, which came through 12 hours before I flew out of the country. Due to my diagnosis of spinal muscular atrophy, this is classed as a pre-existing medical condition that is not insured by generic travel insurers. Thankfully, through some personal contacts and a broker, I got travel insurance. Budget-wise, it really wasn't that much more of an expense, and to be honest, was a high risk to go without it, taking into consideration my health history. A meeting was held 5 days prior to the departing with a team of 4, myself and Amy, to coordinate everyone's roles, expectations, and to basically create a travel plan. I do this for every trip as it provides a platform for everyone to get onto the same page. It was an early morning for us, waking up at 2:45 a.m. to get me in my chair and on the road. A short drive from the coast to the airport, we were parking by 5 a.m. We took 2 cars to the airport with us, my car and Holly's, 4-wheel drive. Holly's car took my hoist and all the luggage. We needed to take the hoist to the airport so I could go to the bathroom before going through customs. The hoist stayed in my car while we were away. Check-in was a little bit of a negotiation and took about 45 minutes, keeping calm and explaining the situation, what I needed, how the wheelchair was to be broken down to bring together a workable plan for the airline and for me. Together it was decided I could remain in my wheelchair and drive right to the aircraft door, where I could then be transferred into a smaller manual chair that's designed to fit down the aircraft aisle. We checked in all our luggage and proceeded to get coffee. We used the bathroom, and then while Steph got me settled into my chair, Mum and Holly took the hoist back to the car and Steve watched all the luggage. It was about 6:40 a.m. and we had to be at the gate by 7. Going through security was kind of interesting. There was a few double checks of the CPAP machine, wheelchair, and even a bag that got sent back. Holly had to run this to be checked in. We made it to the gate, and by this time I was really nervous. I was a little bit anxious and scared about how I was going to get onto the aircraft, putting all my trust in people to lift me. We got down to the aircraft door and there was some confusion about whether we were at the right door or not. We then had to go to a second door where we pulled parts of my chair to transfer me. I was sitting on this specially designed it's called like a lifter seat, and it's basically a fabric capsule that has 4 handles that goes under my bum and up my back so that 4 people can assist to do a manual lift. We started to do this manual lift with 5 people, 1 person at my feet and 4 at the handles. However, when I got lifted, because I've lost so much muscle tone, I actually collapsed forward, and luckily Holly was standing in front of me to catch me. This made me really, really nervous then and a bit upset because I'd just about fallen, and I could feel that the strength in everybody was really strained. So thankfully Emirates staff assisted, and there were some quite strong, capable men to help with this lift. What we did was just lift me up, pull my electric wheelchair out from underneath me, and slip the manual wheelchair underneath, then lowered me back down. It was quite painful for this transfer. Then we had to literally lift the manual chair as it's a step up onto the aircraft because it's an Airbus. And then Emirates had a slide board which we popped under my bottom to slide me across onto the chair. This was a much better solution using the slide board, which is something that we actually used on the return home. It was a really huge relief when my bum hit the seat of the aircraft, because it was just so overwhelming in terms of I'm here, this is actually happening, and all these people have got me to this safe spot. Words really can't do it justice, to be honest. The girls got me all settled with pillows under my feet, my back, and, you know, just basically getting me comfortable. Any kind of movement like that causes extreme pain to my body. So I live with chronic pain, and that was just an incredible journey to get to that point. I was really nervous about going up in the air and, you know, how my lung capacity was going to cope with the breathing. But that all went really well. Halfway, like once we were up in the air, we popped the CPAP machine on and it was all good. I didn't eat or drink anything while I was on the flight, just to lower that risk of aspiration, as I wasn't really sure about how my body was holding up at that stage. So it was best just to completely cut that risk out altogether. Landing was a little bit interesting as I wasn't able to hold my own body weight. So luckily Steve was sitting next to me, and Steve's quite strong, knows my body really well. So he kind of wrapped me up in his body with his arms underneath me, holding me back into the seat as we landed. The G-force kind of pushed me forward a little bit, but with him holding me, it was enough. Getting off the plane, we used the slide board again, but then we had to lift me from the manual wheelchair into my wheelchair, and this part again was quite traumatic. Thankfully, New Zealand had some really strong men that assisted in helping with that transfer. I was really thankful to those guys too for doing that. You know, you get put in situations like that and you put your whole trust in 4 complete strangers, and they did a brilliant job. We quickly just popped my foot plates on and an armrest, and then my chair wasn't completely together. Steph had to do a bit of mechanical work around getting the batteries back in and operational. Other than that, the chair didn't get damaged by the airline at all. They were really respectful of the chair. So once we were off the air bridge and just inside, we then spent about 10 to 15 minutes kind of fine-tuning the wheelchair, putting all the little bits back together. We then went through customs, got our luggage, all of that stuff, and when we got out, we had a taxi ordered ready waiting for us.